Most creators build their business on shaky ground without even knowing it. One algorithm change, one hacked account, and years of work vanish overnight. It's pretty scary, actually. But when you set up an email list, you're building on solid rock. You own the list, you control the communication, and you can turn subscribers into buyers without chasing trends or begging the algorithm for reach. I used to think email was outdated or old school, but it's actually a gold mine. You're looking at a return of $36 to $42 for every $1 you spend. Yeah, it's crazy. And that's not optional. It's essential for your journey on YouTube if you want to build a solid business. In this masterclass, I'm going to break down the full picture of why email is your most valuable asset and what you need to get set up properly and how to actually grow and monetize your list step by step. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. So, number one, why does email even matter so much? Well, with social platforms, you're always at the mercy of someone else's rules. They can change things without warning, and if you've been creating content for a while, you know that sinking feeling when suddenly your reach tanks. Your email list is different. You can take it anywhere. You can nurture it on your own terms, and it works even if YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, or whatever disappear tomorrow. But most importantly, an engaged list gives you leverage. You can sell high-ticket offers without chasing people in your DMs. You can launch new products to a warm audience that already trusts you. You can build long-term relationships without fighting the algorithm every single day. So if you're serious about building a real business, your email list isn't optional. It's your number one asset. And you can get started sooner than you think, like today. But that might raise the question, what email service provider should you choose? Well, luckily, that's topic number 2, choosing your platform. Your platform is the engine of your email strategy. If you choose wrong, you'll waste money, you'll hit limitations, and you'll get frustrated. If you choose right and everything else becomes easier, it makes your life better. When I started, I picked MailChimp because it was free, and it worked until it didn't. Within 8 months, my free plan became one of the most expensive options on the market because my list had grown to 3,000 subscribers. Just last month, I switched to Kajabi, and even though the switch wasn't too painful, it's always nicer to not have to do that, to avoid that situation. So let's talk about how to choose your platform wisely. When you're brand new, this decision can feel overwhelming. There are dozens of platforms out there. There's ConvertKit, which is now actually just Kit. There's Kajabi, MailerLite, ActiveCampaign, MailChimp, and much more. And if you don't know what you need, it's easy to get stuck. So let's simplify it for you. Here are 4 questions that matter most when making an educated guess of what you will need. Number 1, budget and growth. You want to ask yourself, can I afford this now? And will it still make sense when my list grows later? Hopefully sooner than later, of course. Because some platforms start cheap or even free, but the price skyrockets once you have more subscribers, like what happened with me with MailChimp. That free plan might look amazing when you have 50 people, but when you hit 1,000 or 5,000 subscribers, it could suddenly cost you hundreds of dollars per month. And that's a lot. So if you can save that money, it's better to think ahead. So if you can choose something that will still feel affordable when your list triples, it's better to pay a little more upfront for a platform that can grow with you than to spend hours or even days moving everything later. The second thing you want to think about is features. Do you just want to send a weekly newsletter? Then you only need the basics, a place to store emails and broadcast, and maybe add a simple automation. What is automation? It's when your email platform automatically sends the right emails at the right time to your audience, like a welcome sequence or reminders, without you having to manually press send each time. But if you want to sell courses, coaching, or products, you'll want more features, things like tags, automations, advanced segmentation, or even built-in landing pages. For example, ConvertKit, which is now known as Kit, is powerful for creators because it has tagging and automation built in. Kajabi is an all-in-one platform. It includes email, courses, landing pages, memberships, tons of stuff. That means you don't need 5 different tools to do those things. But you also don't want to overbuy features you'll never use. But also, don't lock yourself into a starter tool if you already know you'll want automations and funnels down the road. The third thing to consider is integrations. With integrations, I want you to ask, does this tool play well with the other platforms I use? So if you're a YouTuber, you might want your email list to connect with tools like Calendly for calls, Stripe or PayPal for payments, or a course platform. So same email provider makes integration easy. One click and you're done. Others require tech workarounds or third-party apps like Zapier. So here's a pro tip for you. If you're not techie, make sure your email platform is one that connects smoothly to the tools you already use or plan to use in the future. Otherwise, you'll end up stuck in the weeds. And the last thing I want you to consider, number 4, ease of use. This one is often overlooked, but it's huge. Will I actually enjoy using this platform? If every time you log in, you feel lost, you don't know how to use it, you fumble through it, you'll avoid it and your list will stagnate. So some tools are sleek, simple, and beginner-friendly, like MailerLite or ConvertKit, also known as Kit now. Others are powerful but have a learning curve, like ActiveCampaign. But remember, the best platform is the one you'll actually use consistently. So choose a platform that feels like a solid business partner, not an obstacle to your business success. And here's my rule of thumb. Don't choose based on where you are today. Choose based on where you're going in the next 12 to 24 months. Because once you've chosen your platform, you want to set it up like a pro. And this is the part most beginners skip. And it's why their email ends up in spam, looks unprofessional, or doesn't get opened. Setting up your platform the right way builds trust from day one. So how do you do this? You want to add your business details and branding. Why? Because people want to know they're hearing from a real business, not a scammer. When your logo, brand colors, you show up in the email, it instantly makes you look more credible. Also, you can authenticate your domain. So if you have one, domain authentication, usually called DKIM or SPF records, tells email providers like Gmail, Outlook, and Yahoo that you are legit. Without it, your emails are likely to end up in the spam or promotions tab. With it, you increase deliverability, which means more of your emails actually reach people's inboxes. So that's important. Okay, you also want to consider creating a branded email signature with a call to action. So your email signature is prime real estate. A polished signature with your name, your title, your photo, your logo, and one simple call to action like book a free strategy call or book a call makes every email look professional and gives subscribers a natural next step to do. Think of it as like a mini billboard at the bottom of every email message. It can help you to get people into your funnel. Okay, then you want to set your sender name to you, not no reply. Do not do no reply. This one's huge because no one wants to talk to no reply, right? People open emails from people they recognize and trust. Use your name or your brand name, ideally both, like Alexa from YouTube or Alexa Saranoia. That way, your subscribers feel like they're building a real relationship, not getting blasted by a robot. And these small touches make you look professional, trustworthy, and worth opening. Okay, if you're feeling overwhelmed, and we are only in section 2 of this process, just know, number 1, that's normal. Number 2, you can do this. And number 3, if you want help, I'm here. I offer a 6-month YouTube mentorship program that is highly personalized to you to help you succeed without second guessing. The link is in the description below if you want to apply. All right, let's get back to it. You've picked your platform, you've set it up like a pro. Now the big question, how do you actually start capturing emails? And the answer isn't just slapping a join my newsletter box on your website. That doesn't work anymore. People don't just hand over their email for fun. If you want subscribers, you need to give them a reason. You need to give them something of value. That's where your freebie or lead magnet comes in, which brings us to section number 3, creating a lead magnet that converts. Your lead magnet is your first impression. It's not just a freebie, it's the start of a relationship with your audience. Most people go wrong by making it basic, boring, or worse, irrelevant. And I like to recommend the ESP framework to fix this. E, exact problem. Your lead magnet should solve one specific urgent problem your audience is struggling with right now. For example, instead of how to grow on YouTube, which is vague, common, and anyone can make this, and you can even ask ChatGPT how to do it, make it something more specific, like how to get your first 1,000 subscribers without ads. That's specific. The more run-of-the-mill it sounds, the more run-of-the-mill they expect and won't want it from you. So what specific problem can you solve? That's E, part of the framework. S, part of the framework, is solution. Deliver a clear, actionable result that feels doable and fast. Think checklist, template, quick start guide, mini course, or something similar, right? Most creators recommend keeping it short, but I actually tend to lean more in the direction of over-delivering as the best strategy. But here's the caveat. Don't just make it longer for the sake of it. If it's filled with fluff, people will feel overwhelmed. They won't finish it and they won't get the results. And if they don't get the results, you lose the chance to be their hero. Your goal is to be the one who gives them a real win and fast. And that's what builds instant trust and positions you as the go-to expert because you got them results fast. Okay, then the last part of this ESP framework is P, proof of expertise. So your freebie should demonstrate that you know your stuff. The goal is for them to walk away thinking, if I got this much clarity for free, imagine what I'd get if I worked with them directly. So that's what you want to do. Okay, so that's the ESP framework. Now let's go deeper and show you exactly how to build a killer lead magnet that attracts the right people to you. I told you this was going to be a masterclass. So let's move on to how to make an awesome lead magnet. Here's a framework that not only helps you create powerful lead magnets, but also gives you endless content ideas as well. Killing two birds with one stone. Awesome. Okay, step number 1, map the journey of your zero to hero for your audience. Think of your audience's starting point and their ultimate goal. If we take fitness, for example, the starting point is I feel tired and out of shape. The end goal is I'm confident, strong, and fit. So that's step 1. You need to identify the zero to hero experience. Step 2 is identify the milestones that take the person to get there. So what are the big checkpoints on their journey? Some fitness milestones might be start exercise program, build workout consistency, eating balanced diet, eating balanced meals, lifting heavier weights, seeing the body transform. So make a list of the major milestones they must move through to reach success. And then step 3 is find the problem at each milestone so you can overcome it later is the point. So every milestone has roadblocks. Write down the common problems people face at each stage. Fitness milestone 1, start exercise program, has numerous problems, right? Not knowing where to start, not knowing how to start, not knowing what program to follow, afraid it won't work, afraid they'll get hurt, lack of confidence in their abilities, feeling overwhelmed by too many options, worrying they're too old, out of shape, or unfit to begin, struggling to stay motivated long enough to build a habit, lack of time to commit to workouts, struggling to fit exercise into a busy lifestyle, believing they need a gym membership or fancy equipment, not knowing how to do exercise with the proper form, constantly dealing with soreness or fatigue when they try to work out, fear of being judged at the gym, not having support from friends and family, confusion around how often to work out, believing workouts have to be long and intense to matter, not knowing how to balance workout and nutrition, overcomplicating things instead of starting simple. So those tons of problems, right? Tons of hurdles. And also, again, a great way to think of content for your YouTube videos. Okay, so now you have a ton of ideas based on all these pain points and hurdles of a lead magnet that you could make to address those hurdles, but which one do you choose? Well, it depends on who you want to attract, which leads me to step 4. Choose which audience you want to attract. If you want beginners, create a freebie that solves an early stage milestone problem. Example, the 7-day beginner fitness kickstart blueprint. If you want more advanced clients, pick a freebie that solves a later stage problem, one of your later milestones. For example, how to break through a weight loss plateau. This implies that they're already on their fitness journey, but have run into a common problem that you know how to fix, right? So does that make sense? You want to be strategic with your freebie and attract the right people you want into your programs or into your consulting or whatever your products are that help people at a certain stage. For example, I currently have a freebie that is a new YouTuber checklist. However, I could create a new freebie now that's something like quit your 9-to-5 and build a profitable personal brand on YouTube. And that would attract different clientele than my new YouTuber starter checklist, right? One is for beginners, one is for a little bit more advanced. Okay, and then step 5 is to package it as a quick win. And of course, follow the basics, keep it clear, actionable, checklist, templates, short guides, mini training, etc. Avoid the fluff and end with a simple next step that points towards your paid offer or your community. Because ultimately your freebie gets them in the door so you can sell to them something later. And I want you to make that next step obvious. And that's why, pro tip here, once you set up a freebie, you want to create a nurture sequence that provides value and a reminder of the next steps they could take with you and your services, which we'll get to later in this video. But so once you know the problem, the solution, and the quick win for your client, it's time to decide how people will actually experience your freebie. And that's step 6. Package it the right way. The way you package it matters because the right format makes it easier for them to consume and get the results. And remember, results equals trust, and that equals sales. So here are some popular ways to package a freebie. If you're making a PDF guide or checklist, some tools would be Google Docs, Microsoft Word, Canva. And here's a tip: write it in Docs or Word, then export it as a PDF. Use Canva for a polished, branded design. You can just scan the templates and find one that works for you. You can also make swipe files or templates. You can use tools like Google Docs, Google Sheets, and Canva or Notion for that. Another tip for you would be to create editable versions and share a view-only link to Google Docs so they can fill in the information themselves, a fillable document. Another thing you do is mini video training. And tools to create mini video trainings are things like Loom, Zoom, which you can record to your cloud, ScreenPal, or formerly Screencast-O-Matic, or just your phone and Canva for editing. It doesn't need to be complicated. And here's the thing, you could keep it under 10 minutes, you can upload it as unlisted to YouTube or host it in Google Drive, Kajabi, or Dropbox and share it that way. If you're doing an audio training, pretty similar. You just need some tool for a voice memo app to record your voice. Audacity is great, GarageBand, Zoom, all of these work. And the tip here for you would be to save it as an MP3 and share via your Google Drive or your Dropbox link. It's very easy, don't overcomplicate it. If you want to create a toolkit or resource list, again, you could use Google Docs for this, you could use Canva, you could use Notion, and then share it. And something you could do in this area is like list your favorite apps you use or tools you use or resources with clickable links, then export that as a polished PDF. If you want to create Notion templates, you just use a tool like Notion and create and share a template. And that's not so hard either. Or if you want to create something like Google Sheets or Excel templates, maybe they want to have a tracking sheet or something like that, you can use Google Sheets for that, you can use Microsoft Excel, and then you could share it. A tip for this one is to build a simple calculator tracker or planner and then make a copy link for them so that they can use it on their own. If you want to share, you can make Canva templates as your freebie, and the tool for that obviously is Canva. And a tip here for that would be to design thumbnails, social posts, or worksheets and share via a Canva template link so people can use your design directly. Pro tip though, don't overcomplicate this. The best format is the one your audience can use immediately without extra friction. Okay, so now you've got your freebie packaged. Maybe it's a sleek PDF, a quick video, or a simple Notion template. But here's the thing, having a great freebie isn't enough. If it just sits on your Google Drive, nobody's going to find it. You need a way to present it, to promote it, and actually capture the emails of the people who want it. And that's where your landing page comes in. So you want to think of the freebie as the product and the landing page as the storefront or the window to your sales. So let's move on to section 4, which is building your landing page. Okay, so again, I want you to think of the landing page as a storefront, but also the handshake before your relationship begins. And again, most people overcomplicate landing pages. They add fancy graphics, long paragraphs of information, or even a full menu that leads people away. But the truth is a high converting landing page is simple, direct, and focused on one thing, getting that sign up. So here's how to build yours. Number 1, create a benefit-driven headline. Your headline is 80% of the battle. If the headline doesn't grab attention in 3 seconds, they're gone. So a bad headline would be, sign up for my free guide. A good headline, on the contrary, would be, lose your first 5 pounds in just 14 days. No gym required. Much more impactful, right? Why does this work? Because people don't care about your guide, video, or template. They care about the results. Focus on the results you can get them. Your headline should promise the outcome, not describe the format. Number 2, you want a subheadline underneath your headline that reassures them. The subheadline gives context and erases doubt. It's like saying, yes, this is real, and here's why you can trust me. So for the fitness example, we could say, follow this exact 7-day plan I use with my beginner clients to help them start strong. So there's evidence that it works. There's evidence that they can trust you because you've worked with clients. And why does this work? The subheadline reinforces trust and answers the unspoken question, will this work for me? Number 3, you want to include 3 to 5 bullet points below the subheadline that sell the outcome. Bullets are where you highlight benefits in a scannable way. Keep them short, punchy, and to the point, focused on results. So some bullet point ideas could be, learn how to plan a week of healthy meals in 15 minutes or less. Why this works? People skim. They need to see instantly what they're going to get with this freebie without reading paragraphs. So keep it simple and easy for your viewers. Number 4, a visual mock-up of your freebie, or you. A picture makes it tangible, and it shows your freebie as if it's a real product, something they can physically have their hands on. So mock up a PDF as a 3D book cover or stack of pages, and you can do this easily with Canva. Use a photo of yourself to add personal connection, or if it's a video training, use a laptop screen with a mock-up of your video thumbnail inside that screen. And why does this work? Because people trust what they can see. A polished mock-up elevates the perceived value from random freebie to legit resource. Okay, step number 5 then is a simple opt-in form above the fold. So don't make people scroll down endlessly to find the sign-up box. You want it all on your landing page in the front and center of them. So you want to put the form right under the headline and the bullets, or headline, sub-headline, bullet points, ask for the name and email. And by the way, every extra field beyond name and email will kill the conversion. So keep it simple. Okay, then I want you to use a bold button with action language on it. So send me the guide is much stronger than submit, right? Make it exciting, make them want to click on it. And why does this work? Because it creates less friction for them. It makes it effortless to say yes to, because you're so excited about it in this landing page. Okay, then the next step, step 6, is to eliminate distractions. So I don't want menus, no social links, no blog posts, nothing else on this landing page that will take them away from the landing page before they give you their email. So this page has one purpose, and it's to get the sign up. And why this works: every extra link is an exit door and takes them away from this offer. You want to keep them focused on the one action you want. And here's a pro tip for you. Do the copy first and the design second. It'll save you so much time and headache, because this is the number one mistake beginners make. They spend hours tweaking fonts and colors and the design to make it perfect, but the design doesn't sell. The words do. Write your headline, your bullets, and your CTA first. Once those are strong, then add your branding to complement the words. And once your landing page is complete, your platform that you're using for email will give you a direct link to this landing page. And this is the link people will click to access your freebie. So copy it and save it somewhere easy to find, like a Notes app, Google Doc, or pinned in your browser. And then from here on out, that link becomes the most valuable tool in your business and your job, and you want to plaster it everywhere. Seriously. So you can add it to the description of every video you have on YouTube, pin it to the comments, include it in your channel banner and CTAs inside your videos, put it on your website, your social media bios, even your email signature could have this link. The more traffic you send to that landing page, the faster your email list will grow, and the more control you will have over your audience sooner rather than later. All right, so now you've got people clicking your link and signing up. Amazing. But here's the thing. Getting their emails is only the first step. What happens next is what really determines whether they stay engaged or disappear. And that's where your welcome sequence comes in. So let's talk about, now we're moving into section 5, your email welcome sequence. A welcome sequence is a series of automated emails that go out to someone right after they join your list. Instead of just sending them the freebie and going silent, do not do that. The sequence introduces you, delivers value, and builds more trust over the first few days. Think of it as the onboarding experience for your subscribers into your email. Imagine walking into a store for the first time and no one greets you. It's like shopping in Finland. Seriously, no one greets you at the stores in Finland. No, but seriously, it creates the impression that the shopper isn't valued, right? That's exactly what happens when you don't have a welcome sequence. Your new subscriber is at peak excitement because they just signed up, they want your freebie. Don't waste it. So here's my 5 email flow. The first email, you're going to deliver on the promise, of course. So send the lead magnet, the freebie, or whatever it is, and set that expectation that you deliver on what you promise. The second email you're going to send is your story. So you want to share your journey and why you do what you do and how you got here and whatever else is relevant to maybe helping them understand why you do what you do. The third email is going to be a quick win or a value-driven email. So you're going to give them one actionable step or multiple actionable steps that they can use today to help them go forward with their journey of whatever it is they're trying to achieve. The fourth email you're going to send is more value, and you're going to provide useful advice. And then the fifth email you're going to send in this nurture sequence is to invite them deeper. A warm invite to your program, your coaching calls, or your community. Whatever it is you want them to do next, you would do that in this last email of the nurture sequence. And with all of these emails, I want you to keep it human. I want you to keep it skimmable and always include the next step. So after the nurture sequence, they get dropped into your normal newsletter cycle. And now you might be wondering, okay, what do I include in my normal newsletter after that nurture sequence is complete? And don't worry, I've got you covered. I told you this was going to be a big deep dive. So save this video, come back to it for each section that you need as you evolve with your email planning. So the sixth section is planning your newsletter content. So please do not do this. Build a list, but then never email them. So, because if you never email them and all of a sudden you're like, I want to offer them something. If you pitch them after months of silence, it's going to feel like a stranger is asking them for money. And you want your newsletter to be top of mind for them, to stay in their mind and build trust over time. And with your newsletter, I want you to follow the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the time, you're providing value, tips, stories, and insights. 20% of the time, you're offering your programs, your coaching, your products, or services that will help them get the results that they want to get. Now, you're probably thinking, what about content ideas? What do I write my newsletters about? And I want you to think back to the beginning of this video where we had all those ideas where we were creating for the milestones, right? All the difficulties, all the hurdles that people had. Those are great ideas for email content. But in general, you can always share quick tips, behind the scenes, myths to bust, client spotlights, and so much more. But you want to rotate through and keep it fresh. So you don't always want to provide 5 tips every week, 5 tips, 5 tips, 5 tips. You want to do 5 tips, a story, a case study, behind the scenes. Keep it fresh and different for each newsletter. Okay, a pro tip with this, and it's something that I do, is I batch plan at least 3 months of content ahead of time. So I look at my calendar, I think of what's coming up in that month or that time of year or that season, and you also need to know your frequency of how often you're going to be posting to your email list. So if it's once a week or once a month, that's important to understand your posting planning schedule. And remember to do that mix of 80-20. So you want to make sure you do that as well. Now, here's a big key with emails. Just like your YouTube videos, the title and the thumbnail matter so much. With email, your title matters. Your subject title of your email is so important for getting that click, to get people to open your email. And that's why you'll want to test and track which styles of titles get the most clicks for you in your niche. If you are growing your list and have few subs, you could do like 1 a month emails. And let's step back a second and talk about cadence. If you have a small list and you're just growing it, you could do 1 email a month. And as it grows, you could increase to 1 a week or twice a month or even twice a week. It's whatever the cadence you feel like doing. And if you notice people are engaging with your email content as well. Now you might be thinking, I have no problem sharing value. Value I can do all day long. But when it comes to sales, I don't really like that so much. And I think that's because I had a lot of trouble with this too. I've been a teacher my whole life, and it's my nature to give. And selling used to be way out of my comfort zone. I used to hate selling. But I hate selling doing it the way that we've been raised to think we have to sell. We don't have to sell with manipulation, with urgency, with if you don't get it now, it's disappearing forever, right? We don't need to be like that. We can just do soft sells. We can do offers. And I want you to kind of flip on your head the way you see selling, which is taking us into section 7 now, turning subscribers into buyers. So sales, this is where a lot of people freeze up, but selling is just a service. So here's the reframe. If someone joined your list, they have a problem, and they have a problem you have a solution for and you know how to solve. And not making the offer to them in your emails is like watching someone drown while you're holding a life-saving device, right? Maybe it's not that extreme, but it is to some extent, because if their pain is really hard and it's really hurting them and you have a solution to that pain and they would be interested in buying it, but you're not telling them about it, they're going to sit in pain for no reason, right? Okay, so I want to share with you my sales email formula. So the first thing you want to do is hook them. You want to grab their attention with curiosity or urgency. And the second thing is then you want to relate a story to that hook. So you want to share a story that connects with them. And also in that story, you could agitate their pain a little bit more. Really bring to the surface the pain and that you understand their pain. And then after that, you provide the solution. So you present your offer as the natural next step or the solution to their problem. And you want to highlight the benefits of your solution and the outcomes of it, not the features of it. I've talked about this many times on my channel. You don't want to say, with this solution, you get one call with me, you get 24/7 access to me, all of these things. No, you want to sell the outcome that you will get. With this solution, with my service, whatever you're offering, you will finally feel free from depression. You will finally feel like the chains have been removed from your hands and your feet. Something like that, right? So you're selling the freedom, you're selling the dream, you're selling the benefit of what working with you or using your services will provide. And then after you've done that, you do the call to action. And you want it to be clear, confident, and one step to act, right? You want it to be so obvious that the next step is this. Click this button, click this link, download this course, buy this course, whatever it is, right? Just make it very clear. Some people might unsubscribe to your email newsletter when you've sent this email. And that's okay, because the ones who stay are your buyers eventually. The ones who stay are your true audience. And here's another tip that my business mentor gave me. If you are really, really hesitant to sell at all, to sell in your email newsletters, is to utilize the PS. That is never a pushy place because it's like an afterthought. P.S. Have you joined the free community? Here's the link to join now. P.S. Just a reminder, the mentorship is almost full. If you want in, click here to apply. So I've been throwing a lot at you. Awesome job that you guys are still here. I know you are serious about making a big impact with your email list because you are still here. So now let's move on to section 8, which is growing and optimizing your list. Okay, so this is the fun part because you're actually growing your list and keeping it healthy. And here's the first thing you need to know. You do not need paid ads to build a powerful email list. I have never paid any ads up until this point with my channel. No ads at all. I've done all organic growth and I have over 3,000 people in my email list and I've only been doing this a year and a half. Some of the most engaged profitable lists are built with nothing but free, consistent action. So how do you grow your list? Think of your freebie like a magnet, obviously, but magnets only work if you actually put them out where other magnets can attract to them, right? You need to turn the magnet the right way so people see it and attract to it. And that means sharing your landing page that you created earlier in this video. That link you want to paste everywhere your audience is already spending time. So social media call to actions would be at the end of every Instagram post, Facebook story, TikTok video, YouTube video. Invite people to grab your freebie on those social media posts. And don't just drop the link, explain the benefits. Again, instead of saying, join my list, say, grab my free 7-day workout plan so you can finally start strong without getting overwhelmed, right? And for YouTube specifically, the integration would be put the link in the first line of your description and pin it in the comments and mention it inside the videos. And over time, this creates passive growth. Your old content, as it ages, will keep sending you new subscribers to your email list. Another way you could use this link is when you do collaborations. If you partner with someone who serves a similar audience but isn't a direct competitor, for example, if you're in a fitness coach and you collaborate with a nutritionist, you share each other's freebies and both lists get to grow. That's a great way to grow your list as well. You could also do workshops and challenges or host a free 3-day challenge or mini training and require people to sign up with their email. And this way, not only does it grow your list, but also builds massive trust because you're giving live value with the webinar and also a lead magnet. Okay, so here's the thing. Bigger is not always better. A list of 1,000 people who actually open and engage is worth more than 10,000 who ignore you. So once you start growing, focus on keeping your list healthy. I want you to clean out any inactive subscribers every 3 to 6 months. So you remove people who haven't opened your emails in a while. It feels scary, but it improves your deliverability, meaning your active subscribers are more likely to see your emails. So most email platforms actually do this for you automatically, or you can set it up to do it automatically for you. The other thing I want you to consider is segment your audience. Not everyone on your list is in the same place. Some are total beginners and others are more advanced. Use tags or segments in your email platform so you can send the right message to the right person. For example, send how to start exercising to a beginner and how to break a plateau to an advanced subscriber. Once you start getting crazy skilled at making lead magnets. Another piece of advice is to test and tweak. So don't guess what works, test it. Try different subject lines, try different sending times, or try different call to actions, soft call to actions, hard call to actions, obvious call to actions, less obvious. Pay attention to what gets the highest opens and clicks. Then do more of that with your emails. So track the right metrics. I don't want you to obsess over your total subscriber count. Instead, I want you to track open rate. A 25 to 40% open rate is healthy. People are opening your emails. And a click-through rate is important. So are they engaging with your links in your emails? A 2 to 5% click-through rate is great. So another thing to look at is the list growth rate. Are you steadily getting more people than you're losing? That means it's a healthy email list. Okay, then you want to look at conversion rate. Are your emails turning subscribers into buyers? A 1 to 3% conversion rate is healthy. The bottom line is this. Your email list is a living thing. It grows, it changes, and it needs care. If you keep sending traffic to your landing page and you regularly clean, segment, and test, your list will become one of the most powerful assets in your business. And remember, a small engaged list always outperforms a big silent one. And phew, we made it. That's it. Now, go get started growing your email list. And as always, I'm here if you need me. I can help you directly in my 6-month membership or in my Skool community that is free to join. All of that information is in the description below. However, I will see you in the next video. And if you like these deep dives, please let me know in the comments below so that I will make more of them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.